I thought I'd make this little video for you to kind of help you understand what's expected when there's a substitute teacher in the room. Okay? Subs are here because they care. They care enough about the educational process, they care enough about the community, and they care enough about you that they're willing to come in and do a very difficult job for not a lot of money. Okay, most of the subs that work here in GM have been here for quite a while, and they're very dedicated to making sure that you get the best education possible when your regular teachers are not in the classroom. So it's important for you to understand what it's like for those subs. And it's not easy when you're a substitute teacher because they come in here and they don't know the rules and the routines of every classroom. They don't have access to the technology to get things back on track. So it's up to you, all of us, to make sure that that process goes as smooth as possible. The other thing is that when we have a substitute teacher, you need to still care about the educational process. I think all of us who have been kids in school appreciate a sub day because sometimes you can get a little bit lax and things are a little bit easier. Well, that's true, but the educational process still goes on, and you're still responsible for the learning, okay? Because the teacher sets up a learning process. The sub goes in and does their best to make sure that learning process is carried out. And it's you who actually becomes a very important part in caring about your education, okay? You don't want to waste a good education. And even when there's a sub in there, there's an opportunity for you to grow. The other thing is that when you are working with a sub, when the sub shows up, if you don't take your work seriously, things happen. I know that sometimes kids think, oh, it's a sub, it doesn't really matter. Well, if your teacher's professional, it's going to matter. Those activities that you're expected to do, well, they're going to be worth points, and it will affect your grade. And the reason that you need to take things seriously when there is a sub in the building is your grades can drop as a result of it. Usually one of two things happens. The teacher gives you an assignment that you can make easy points on, or they give you opportunity to make up work that you're missing. So these are great opportunities, but it's up to you to take advantage of them. The other thing about substitute teaching or substitute teachers and having a substitute and how it affects you is the habits you form when you're not being watched by an authority figure are habits you take with you in life. So, the thing is this: if you get a job and you're older and the boss isn't there, you can't slack off. You still have to do your job, okay? It is your responsibility. The other thing is, if you're not taking it seriously, you are viewed differently. In other words, your teachers come back in, look at the sub notes, look at what was done, who did what, and they evaluate you. And they begin to rate you as a productive or non-productive person, and they take that into account when they do other activities. The other thing is you get less in return. Your educational experience just isn't as good if you don't take sub days seriously. Okay, so a couple things that you need to remember when you have a sub, and why you should take it seriously. Your grades can drop. The habits you're forming when somebody's not watching you become very ingrained and become a part of who you are. You look non-productive in the eyes of the people around you, not just the teachers, but your friends as well. And you get less in return in the long run, all right? Now, technology. We are set up for technology, so when a sub comes in, the learning process can continue 100%. Will there be technology issues? Yes, but, there always seem to be oddly more technology issues when there's a sub there. And usually that data correlates with kids who usually goof around when the teacher's not there anyways. So, the technology issues, occasionally, yeah, you can say, yeah, my technology didn't work. But if everybody's technology works for an entire 2 months prior to the sub day and then suddenly nobody's technology is working, usually there's an issue with the people, not the technology. So technology really is an excuse. Not only that, most teachers have a backup plan. Like in 6th grade, usually we have Mr. Sturgis who will jump in and help with any issues, little issues. And usually, you know, they're minor, just 1 or 2 here or there, not entire groups, okay? And on occasion, if something does happen, the teacher will acknowledge that technology because the teacher will monitor what's going on in the classroom, and they'll be able to say, oh, the technology was an issue, and they'll come in the next day or when they return and say, okay, kids, there was a technology issue. I can take care of that. We'll take care of it, okay? But when most kids say, oh, there was a technology issue, not usually, okay? So anyways, the other thing is, what should you do when there is a sub, okay? Be on your best behavior. You know, be a polite, respectful student. Doesn't mean you have to be a perfect angel. Yeah, it's a sub day, and most subs are going to be fairly lax and let you talk a little bit more, and the teacher knows that, and they usually set up activities that, okay, it doesn't really, you know, matter if you talk a little bit here and there, but it's still important that you stay on track. So you need to be on your best behavior. You also have to have your best responsibility out there. You have to be responsible. It's kind of a growing up thing, okay? And when there's a sub there, it shows how mature you are. The other thing that you should do when there's a sub in the building, you know, have good behavior, be responsible, and be helpful, okay? Don't intentionally mess things up. Don't intentionally forget how to sign into Schoology. Don't do that. Don't intentionally say, oh yeah, we can go outside or we can play with the Kinects when we want to. Don't do that. That's not helpful, okay? Now, how does this all relate to Parker Pride? Well, the P in Parker Pride stands for positive, okay? You need to be positive about a sub day. You need to say to yourself, yeah, this is a good thing, and it's an opportunity for me to maybe learn in a little bit more relaxed environment without the eye of my teacher on me. And so you should be positive and say, I can still get all my work done. I can relax a little bit. What I don't get done, my behavior will be good, and the teacher will come in and say, don't worry about it. Here's what we'll do. We'll get all caught up and organized. So be positive when there's a sub. The R in Parker Pride, respect. Respect what is happening in that situation. People put time into a sub day. Your sub puts time into coming in and getting prepared. Your teachers put a lot of time into a sub day, and you need to respect that. You also need to respect your classmates who are in school and serious about their learning, whether it's a sub day, a snow day. You need to be respectful. So you need to be positive. You need to be respectful. The integrity, this is a big one, okay? You need to show a little bit of integrity when there's a substitute teacher in the classroom. You have to still act like you do when your regular teacher is there, okay? You have to do the best you can on all your assignments. And don't make up excuses. Don't say the technology wasn't working, because chances are it won't take a teacher very long to figure out, yeah, it was working, or no, it wasn't. So your integrity becomes very, very important, because integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. And that's what a sub day is all about, doing the right thing when nobody's watching. And that means that if the sub lets you go outside and sit, you still do your work. Or they let you in the hall, you still do your work. Integrity. So we have pride, we have respect, we have integrity, determination. Now, determination is important because, yeah, some of us, when we see the sub, we think to ourselves, oh no.
Good morning, JWPMS staff. We just really appreciate everything that you've done for our PBIS for the first quarter.
PBIS!
Recognizing our students, going to celebrations, and doing our Principal 200 and our Student of the Month has been very, very helpful. We truly appreciate everything that you've done and the time that you put into helping us make recognize our students and grow our building culture. So we really appreciate that. In the faculty room are some snacks and some cider, and there's like pastries and just really good, beautiful, delicious things that we picked up for you. So if you want to come on down to the faculty room and get those. again, thank you. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, there you go. You see, Parker Pride. Parker Pride's something new for us teachers, and some of us are, really, it's new and we're learning how to do it, but you get recognized for the good things you do. That's just the way it is. There's almost always, and so how neat is that? Suddenly, an unexpected message about Parker Pride and telling teachers thank you for being, having Parker Pride yourselves. Here's a little treat and bonus for you. Well, that oftentimes happens for kids too when there's a sub. So anyways, we went through being positive, respectful, having integrity, determination. Have determination. If you're one of those kids and you're just like, you don't like sub days because you know that the learning process gets disrupted, be determined. Hang in there. Do the best you can. Teachers know which students are working and which students are not working. Okay? So have some determination. And if you're one of those kids who like, oh, it's a sub day, yeah, be determined to be, to be positive and respectful and have integrity. Show determination. The last thing is empathy. Empathy. Empathy is understanding what it's like for somebody else. Even if there's a sub in the classroom, you still have to have empathy. You need to, understand that some kids are very serious about their schoolwork, and you should be on your best behavior for your peers. Okay, have some empathy for the sub. It's not easy being a sub. It's not easy to walk into a classroom and take it over. All right, so have empathy. Have empathy for your teachers. You don't know why your teachers are out of the building that day. It might be for meetings that are, not as exciting and they'd rather be in their classroom. You might not know what's going on with your teachers. They may be homesick, worrying about you. So have a little bit of empathy. A sub day is not a vacation day. It's usually a relax a little bit day, but you still have to show some Parker pride. All right? Well, I hope this little video helps you understand what sub days are all about, and I hope that the next time we have a sub day, you're aware of what's expected of you.